I know you've probably had one or two or a million business ideas and probably have struggled with figuring out if it can actually happen, if you can make it into a real business. Today I have an awesome guest on the show. Her name is Abbie. She's going to be sharing with us how you can analyze your business idea, which in turn will save you tons of time and energy in the beginning process of starting a business that you love. Abbie runs a support community for female entrepreneurs called For Her Empire. This community is created so entrepreneurs can come together, motivate one another, and create a business in life that they love. So grab a bag of popcorn or a snack and a notepad and watch this video from start to finish. You are going to absolutely love it. All right, welcome everyone to the show today. Today I have Abbie. She's amazing and I'm really excited to bring her on the show. Will you tell us a little bit about you and your business?
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Abbie. I run a support community for female entrepreneurs. So what the support community tends to, or at least what we do is there is a 4-step process. So first we give you resources to create business assets. So that could be ebooks, templates, courses, or pre-made sheets that you can just fill. And then the next thing we do is motivate you to actually use that stuff, because we are to a degree guilty of downloading freebies all over the internet, but we don't actually use any of that. We just have it. So we sort of like motivate you to like just put your butt in a chair and actually use the stuff you downloaded or you paid for. So that's the next stuff. Then the next part is actually keeping you accountable, because the whole point of you downloading this stuff and using it is because you want to do something. You made a promise to yourself and to your business that I'm going to create one Etsy product or schedule social media posts for the months. And then we don't really do all that. Since nobody's keeping us accountable, we just wing it as we go. So like the third step is actually keeping you accountable. Like, hey, darling, you promised to do this. What's the progress on this so far? So that's the third part. And then the last part is getting feedback, like an objective feedback on what you're doing. So it might be, are you on the right path? Are you on the wrong path? Should you be focused on social media right now or on actually creating products and services for your business? Should you be spending so much time on ads right now, or maybe spend that time on email marketing? So it's like getting feedback on what you're doing so that you know, if I'm doing this right, am I doing this at the right time? So that's sort of like the journey and the support we provide at the community.
So how, like, just real quick, like, how did you create that community? Like, what was that like driving force behind it?
Full disclosure, I created the community because I needed it. Because one, I had downloaded so many resources. I have like an entire Dropbox full of resources I've downloaded and I've never used. And then I have tried so many productivity apps. I have 3 on my phone right now. And then so it's like nobody's keeping me accountable, nobody's motivating me. I know it's my business and nobody has to motivate me, but I'm trying my best. Okay, it's hard. So yeah.
And you're doing a great job. I love it.
Thank
you.
It's so great. Like, screw this. Just create a community for this.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a huge fan. Awesome. Well, I just thank you for creating a community because we all need it.
Yeah.
And this goes really closely into our topic today. So like, I know we talked about this topic being how to analyze your first business venture. And,
yes.
Just like on a base level, like your community is driven by a need that everyone sees. And like, that is the analyze, like that is what a business venture needs to do to succeed. So I'm just like, you got it.
I know everyone keeps saying that. Identify the need, validate your idea, and get 3 pages. Cool. After that, it's like if it's for a short-term thing, that might work. If it's for a long-term sort of thing, and you'll be there for a long time, you might want to analyze if your business has a future and if it's sustainable financially. So I'm not saying you should not find your need or know your niche and all of that. I'm saying just before you do all of that and invest all that time, maybe just take a few hours or a few days to analyze how feasible and how sustainable this idea is from a purely financial perspective. I mean, yeah, serve your audience. Yeah, cool. But like, you have bills to pay at some point, don't you? And you do want to like make some income out of this, don't you? So yeah, it just makes sense. Like, look at this from like a purely financial perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan. So when you are like, just pretend like we have someone else on this call and they're a new entrepreneur, they're maybe wanting to quit their 9-to-5, it's unfulfilling. Like, and they have this amazing business idea. How do you go about analyzing it and figuring out if it'll actually work?
Okay. So that's a good question. So the first thing is that I know we like to think all our ideas are unique, but realistically, you probably saw a business somewhere that inspired your idea. Let's be honest with ourselves. You probably seen a business and you're like, okay, I like this aspect, I don't like this aspect. I like this, but maybe to a different audience. Or you saw a business and you thought, that's successful. I can take part of it, and if it works for them, it might work for me. So your idea is creative and unique, but it's probably based on an existing business. And that's a good thing, actually, because if it's not, it means you will have to teach your audience an entirely new thing. And that takes a long time for you to make money out of that. Yeah. So could you imagine like when let's say Apple Music, when they came in, or the iPod, when you have to teach people how to use like a physical device to listen to things. You have to teach people how to stream music. That took a long time. But now you can have your own podcast and all that because people are already used to streaming things. So it's easier if something already exists before you have that idea. Now that's the good thing. So the first thing you need to know is what exactly is inspiring this idea. What do I like about it? What do I like about it? What will I keep? What will I change? And now, for most of this, you might think, okay, I like how they have digital products. I'm gonna keep that. That way, I don't have to have any physical stuff. I don't like how I have to keep customers coming back. I'll prefer a membership where I know to a degree I have some level of stable income. So you sort of look at what will I keep and what will I remove. So that's the first part. And you're doing this so that you have an idea that your assumption can work, that there are already existing customers that are used to this business process. So I'm not teaching you anything. When I'm putting an ad, you sort of already understand my business idea. I don't have to spend all that much money to teach you. That's like a good part to think of. Okay, so now the actual business part. You have a question?
Yeah, no, I was, what just popped in my head is like so I guess like part of this is researching what other businesses are out there that are like your idea. So it goes hand in hand with what you're saying of like figuring out what you like about their business and what you don't like about this business or the industry as a whole. And I think, that is a really, really important piece for sure. That's it.
Okay. So now when you had this idea for a business, now you think of how will money get into this business? You've not made it yet. So like, what are the different revenue streams you're gonna have? So before we start recording, we're talking about, let's say you're a woman or whatever your gender is, and you love cooking and you want to monetize that. And the typical way would be to do a food blog, except blogs takes a while to make money out of. You might put ads in there, but if you're like me, you have like 5 ad blockers on your browsers. I see 0 ads, so that would not help you.
Same.
So now you're like, okay, let me monetize this. And you might think recipe books, PDFs. You might think cooking courses. You might think coaching for people who cannot cook, who want to learn how to bake. You might be thinking of that. You might be thinking of people who want to go vegan recipes. You might be thinking of food for people with special diets. So these are all like potential like income streams. So first and first is how potentially would you make money out of this business, and be clear about like the how much it will cost. So like an ebook might cost $10 to $20. So that's range. So you can say $10 to $20. A pre-made recipe might cost $50. So you put that amount. Of course, when you go to the market, the price will change, but just have like a price range of how much potentially it'll get. Now, before we go to the other parts, it's good so that when you start validating, you know, like, these are what I want to offer, this is how much it will cost. Out of all of this, which is easy to get clients, start with. Start with a low-hanging fruit and then slowly move. If you're a new business and you're doing a coaching of like, say, $2,000 for your first client, and I don't trust you, that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
A very hard sell. But if you have like cookbooks and maybe audio courses and maybe video courses, those are things that you could use to get some money and establish some trust before you hit them with that hard sell. So if I went straight with a coaching and I got 0 clients, I might think my this idea does not work, but it could have worked too. But if you sell a product $5, maybe like an Etsy product or a sticker or something, and you sell $20, you think, "Ooh, my idea is validated. That's not working either."
Yeah. And are you a fan of Jenny Shih? Have you ever heard of her?
So tell me about her.
Yeah, so she's a business coach. She's like, Marie Forleo level, up there, but she's kind of like chill, like she's chiller. She's not big in like, media, but I'm a huge fan of her. She's like super chill, super down to earth, like no makeup, like she's my role model, right? Like I don't do any of that stuff. Like I just am super chill. But she has this like idea of BSO, bite-sized offer. So like as a service-based entrepreneur, that's who she serves, is an offer that is $99. That is like a one-off session. So like that's how I had to get started, right? Because I was like, I want to do a 3-month coaching program. I want to do a 6-month coaching program, but I didn't have any clients. So like, I'm like so agreeing with all the things that you're saying. Like, it's so important to start small, like the low hanging fruit, like what you can actually give people, like one small solution, problem, done, like 90 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever.
Yes. So you have to know exactly how money is going to come into this business. What are you selling? What product or service are you going to sell to bring this income? Now, the other thing to think about is, how will money leave this business? You don't like thinking of that, but think of that. How will money leave this business? So now you can look at it in 2 ways. You can look at it from cost that I will incur whether I make a sale or not. So maybe if I'm in, let's say, a co-working space, that's rent. Maybe I have to like pay for my internet bill. That's coming towards it. Let's say my laptop crashed and I have to buy a new laptop, and this is like my work laptop. That's an expense. Maybe I'm having a virtual assistant who's doing my social media. That's an expense. Maybe I choose to have a website, so I need to like hire a website developer, domain hosting, SSL certificate. That's an expense. And those are things that you have to pay for, whether you make a sale or not.
Yep.
And now there's other small things that like sales that you only incur when you make a sale. So let me give you an example. If you sell courses and you decide to put your courses on Teachable, whether you use Teachable's free plan or any of their paid plans, Teachable takes a percentage of that. PayPal takes a percentage as well, or whatever payment gateway you use. So if I bought a course for like $99, I know roughly 10% of that is gone.
Yep.
Yeah. If I had affiliates and I promised them 10%, and that 10% is gone. So it's not like all that money goes to me anyway. Some are gonna go. Yeah. And then you might also think of it like costs, how much it costs to make a product. So if for example, I'm making a product that requires me spending some money to buy some items for that, then that's the cost. Like that's money leaving my business right now. Yep. So you can look at it from that perspective. Or if you're a more optimistic person, so I think of it like startup costs and then running costs. So the startup cost is like much it cost me to start this business. That's where the hosting, the domain, and all of that comes in. Maybe I need to buy a printer, and that's the printer cost. Maybe to create my courses, I have to like get a partner, and they want like $20 to show up my video or something. So that's a cost like to start up the business. Then there's the running costs. This is what costs you incur to keep your business floating. But either way, you are gonna bleed money. Like, let's be honest about it. And that's something we don't tell entrepreneurs. You think when you start a business, you keep 100% of it. You do not. You don't.
Yeah.
So just have a good idea of how much it's gonna cost you. Like, how much will I bleed?
Especially with all the courses and stuff that we're buying.
Yeah. Even if we decided to record on Zoom, Zoom's free plan is only 40 minutes. So if your course is going to take longer than that and you need a paid plan, that's an expense. If you're going to use Dropbox to store your things or any cloud storage, that's an expense. If you're going to use like G Suite for your emails, that's an expense. Like, there are expenses everywhere.
And I feel like, in the beginning of entrepreneurship, and this is just me on my personal experience, when I started my business like a year and a half, 2 years ago, is like, I didn't want to spend money on anything. Like, I've never spent a dime on any ads. I was like super stingy, and no one talks about that. You have to spend money to start a business online. Even like, we know that when it comes to a brick and mortar, like a restaurant or anything like, product based, but service based, it's like, no, you don't have to spend anything. But that's not the case. And I'm really glad that you brought up all those examples, because like, you brought up so many examples of all the things that you have to take into consideration.
Yes. Yeah. And as much as we don't like to hear that we will lose money, if you're honest about yourself and don't run away, and then you know that it's gonna cost me, say, anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 to get this business running. Now I know when I'm trying to validate my business idea. Let's say, let's try an example. Let's say it's gonna cost me $1,500 the first year, and that's like I'm bootstrapping the hell out of it, spending only when I need to. Like, I have cut down my cost to the bare minimum. No virtual assistant. I will do it myself if I have to stay up late at night. But I needed a decent website, so I'm going to be like outsource to somebody, an Upwork or whatever, to get my website. But I have to like pay for my hosting and all of that. I have to like get my Zoom, have like proper security on my website. It doesn't get hacked. Yep. So let's say all of this cost me $1,500. Being optimistic about it. Now I know that when I'm validating my business idea, out of all those products I have listed, of all those services that I would sell, I know, okay, so let's say I want to go with your friend's perspective of having like a $99 product. And I'm saying, if I can get 3 people to get the $99 product, that's $300. I will think my business is feasible, because I know that I only need 5 months to cover my college running costs. And like, okay, that's not that bad. And I still have other income streams. But I know with this product alone, if I can get 3 people in a month, and like I sustain these 3 people, I can cover this $1,500 on running costs. So in my head, I'm like, okay, it's not a bad business model. In 5 months, I cover all my operational costs. And I have 7 months to like make some profits, and as well as have some extra money to cover next year's running costs. That's very optimistic, but at least you're looking at it. So I'm like, yeah, because if my running costs, if I decide to go with like an Etsy product or a $10 product, I will have to sell 150 products to make that money.
Yep.
And that's only running costs. Where are my profits coming? What about next year's money? Or is that coming in as well?
Yeah. I love all the tangible advice that you're giving us today. I think it's really, really, really valuable. So thank you. I love this so much. So is there any other steps that you would recommend, like when you're analyzing your first business or a new business venture?
Yeah. I'd say, and ask yourself, how will I finance this business too? Like this 1,500, you probably need it before you start the business. So like, where's it coming from? Are you gonna like need to save a while, get a loan, or maybe start with those like $10 stuff, sell a lot of it and save the money before I go to the next step? But really have a clear idea of how you finance the business. Or if you start without that, you will get frustrated. You feel like you're making no progress, and that's one business idea that could make a difference. And you just stop halfway because you got frustrated. So please do think in advance of how will I finance this business, and then know what will I sell, how will money leave, and know that like the difference between where money leaves and where money comes. Like, if you're gonna take me like an example we just gave, it's gonna take me 5 months to make actual profits. Know that. So that for 5 months I'll be patient. I will not get frustrated. I will persevere. But if I don't know this, in 4 months I might give up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is it's not necessarily the business idea. It's just like the tangible entrepreneur business things like cash flow is like is very important when, you know, figuring out if this is going to be feasible or not.
Yes.
Like totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that much. You keep thinking that you keep everything, that'll be so easy, but like, no, you will bleed money. As much as we like to pretend that you can start a business right now with zero cash, nothing, doesn't work like that, though.
Nope. Yeah, absolutely not. And you know, spending that I just want to bring up also, like if you have a 9 to 5, like I worked in my 9 to 5. My last day is actually next week. But yeah, I know. Celebrate. But like I worked in this 9 to 5 for years to like as I was educating myself, as I was like getting a very like their client base, right? Like a community. And now I feel comfortable enough to go and, you know, I'm not going full time in my business. Like this was like a planned kind of like sabbatical.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like a caveat to that, but I'm just gonna, like bringing up the point of like your 9 to 5 is not evil necessarily. Like it's a good thing probably.
Yeah. Like, it's not like your business will take off immediately anyway. It's like when you start a business, you literally have zero customers. Or some like your friends and a network you had built previously, but typically you have zero. So keep your 9 to 5. Like when things go wrong in your business, you can take from your savings, by the way, to finance that and to take care of yourself and pay your rent and feed your family and yourself. So like, yeah, and I don't like the mentality that people say that you have to go all in your business with like no safety net. Like no. Have like safety nets, many of them, if you can.
All the safety nets. Yep. I'm like a pretty risk adverse person anyways, which I think a lot of mindset like entrepreneurs say that you have to be really risky to start a business. But I love the safety nets. Like they're necessary. Like you can be an entrepreneur and not like take risks by putting $100,000 into a business. Like that's not the same thing.
Yeah. Who puts it like that kind of money immediately anyways, like asking to lose it. Let your business get to a point before you start putting all these risks in it.
Then I love it. And you know, another thing, like when you're starting your business, just like really quick, like I know we kind of touched on it, but like when you're starting a business and it's taking longer than you think, like what do you say to your clients or, you know, whoever on how to like be more patient and persevere through that like beginning like drudge of it?
Yeah. Like so I'm kind of cynical, like as you said, very cynical. So I would not tell you like persevere and any of that and have faith and any of that. I wouldn't tell you that. Like definitely because if somebody told me that, I'll be like, okay, thank you. I wouldn't listen anyway. And so what I'll do is if it's how do I phrase this? If I know how much money I've invested into this business, or how much it took me to get the business to this point, and I know what I'm selling, and I know how many months, I know what to sell or what I can sell for a particular period. So using the same example, I know it's gonna cost me $1,500 to kickstart this business, and I know that I could potentially sell 2 products if I focus on just this one product, this $99 product, and I sell to 2 people that month. that's $200. Or if I'm really into it, two people, that's $200. So I don't think of anything else. I don't worry about anything else. I just find this $99 product. Who can I sell it to? Where are you online? And then bombard the crap out of you in a nicer way. And try to meet this sales quota of $200 to $300 minimum a month. Then I know in my head that in 5 months, if I do this, there are days, there are months I might not meet this quota or I might exceed it. But I'm giving myself that in 5 months, for the next 1 month, 6 months, I will cover this initial one cost. So I can persevere because something to hold on to. I can mention because I have facts to hold on to. Then telling me, no, it's okay, your first year, it's a bit rough, it takes a while. If I told you that, which would you feel more comfortable with?
Facts. Hard facts.
Yeah. So like this whole faith and all of that, for some it works. For me, no, I am way too cynical for that. Just like get a book, just write down, like let's calculate together. Tell me how many I need to persevere. And tell me that this perseverance is solely based on if I put in this amount of work every month and meet this sales quota. Then I have facts to guide me. Then I'm chasing this sales quota. I know if I meet this sales quota in months, I'm good. Don't tell me it's okay. Every business takes this. Like no. Back away. Like, I don't need any of that.
I love you. That's amazing.
No, I am so cynical. Don't give me any of this. Like, it's okay. Have faith. Like, yeah, I have faith. But could you like write something down for me real quick? Then I will have faith.
Yep. Yeah. I'm so about this. Amazing. I love it. So where could someone find you if they wanted to work with you, potentially on analyzing a new business venture, or just in general in your community? Like where would they find you?
Okay. So I have a Facebook group called Support Community for Female Entrepreneurs. I'm also on Instagram. I'm trying to be more active on Instagram. I have like setting on my phone. If I spend an hour on an app, it shuts down the next day. So I am active-ish on Instagram for 1 hour only a day.
Yep.
So that's for her empire. But I'm also active on Facebook as well. I have to be anyway. So you can find me on Facebook page for our empire, or Instagram for her empire, or the Facebook group, which is Support Community for Female Entrepreneurs, or really the website, which is forherempire.com. That's where you can find me.
I love it. And there'll be the links below, so you can just scroll below and click. But yeah, oh my gosh, I loved this interview so much. I am so excited for you. I love your community. I love your business venture. It's so cool. And if you for the audience, like if you have any questions for me, Abbie, or anyone, that anything that we talked about, I would love for you to just comment below or reach out to one of us on social media or wherever we're connected.